Hi, lovely listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in today on the Outlaw Podcast Show. We believe that information sharing is one of the most important factors to consider to propel an interactive society. Here on the Outlaw Podcast Show, we get interactive with social creative creators, dialogue about trending issues of change, and diversity of minds to stir up the change factor. With your host, Salasi Kwabitete. Enjoy.
Hello, guys. On today's episode of The Outlaw, we are talking about the next phase of internet, and we are focusing on Africa. And I have Isaac. It's just a pity I just mentioned his name. I'm going to let him introduce himself right now.
Okay, so my name is Isaac Osei Nyantichi. Yes. What do you want to know about me?
A little
Okay.
introduction about yourself.
Okay, based on my background. Okay,
Yeah.
so I would say that I am a telecommunication engineer.
Okay.
I worked with Huawei for about 3 years
Oh,
in
that's
Ghana,
nice.
and I'm here doing my PhD
Wow.
in information and communication engineering.
Oh, that's good. Then I think you're the best person for this topic and this conversation.
I will try my best.
Okay. So today we are talking about the next phase of internet to the world, but generally in Africa, right?
Yes.
Yes, and well, you didn't tell us which country you're from. I think that that could be a good start for this conversation because of the focus points of our conversation being
right.
Africa. Yeah.
Right. So I am a Ghanaian, a proud Ghanaian.
That's right. Okay.
A proud Ghanaian.
Okay. So now I want us to just dive in because I don't want us to waste any time. So talking about the internet, I mean, what do you think are some of the few introductions that internet has brought to us? If you want to start from the beginning, I mean, from the face of internet.
Yes, if you want to talk about the internet as a worldwide phenomenon or
Yeah.
as an African phenomenon,
I think we should start generally worldwide.
in general.
Okay, so basically the internet, as we know, kind of existed because of the military.
Mm.
The essence of the internet was to try and get messages from one point to another in the military.
You mean like coded information? so
Yeah,
that-
coded information,
Okay.
exactly, so that the military can send signals and they
Nice.
can send targets and locations and
Oh.
certain secret information
Okay.
to their partners or to the combats in the field.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is how the internet started. So it started in America actually, and so it's just basically the internet is just a connection of different computers or different servers on one network.
Okay.
So that's basically how the internet started. So it started as something with the military, and then the military decided, okay, we've gotten to a certain phase of the internet. Then the government came in and then introduced the internet into civilians. So most of the time what happens is, the truth of the matter is, most of the things we see as civilians, we're usually like 10 or 5 years behind the military. So
Oh.
anything you see now has been done 5 years in the military.
Could that mean that the US military or any military at all have sophisticated gadgets or even, let's say, tools than we the civilians?
Absolutely, and it's very paramount for them to always try to be ahead because of the nature of
their job,
the
yeah.
military. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so now talking about the face of internet, you can't talk about internet without 2G, 3G. I mean, these are the generations or the phases that internet have passed through now. So I want to know, from your idea, 2G, 3G, now we are where? 5G.
Right. Yes.
You
yes.
know, it's interesting to find out that in our generation we are in the 5G era.
5G, and we're actually thinking of 6G now as well.
Interesting. Can you imagine?
Yes. There's talk of
That's
6G.
right. Okay, so what do you think 2G, 3G. I mean, from the beginning.
I mean, the best analogy I can give you right
Yeah.
now is if you take Nokia 3310, right?
Yeah.
That is basically 2G, okay, black and white.
White, that's
okay,
right,
GSM. You can only make calls,
Uh-huh.
Send text messages,
Yeah.
okay, and if you want to send maybe certain binary codes, you can send them, okay. That is
Well, I
the
didn't know of
GSM.
that part, but
Yeah,
no.
that is a GSM era.
Yeah,
And,
GSM.
yeah, the GSM era. And then we moved on to the 3G. The 3G now brought in the data, and the whole
Data
point of the
transfer.
internet. Yeah, the data transfer at a particular point. That's when 3G also came into being. Okay,
Yeah.
and we realized that yes, there's a capability in the 3G, but as humans, we always want more. Oliver
That's
Twist always
right. That's
asks for
right.
more.
That's right.
So
I
we
mean, they're
always
never
wanted
content.
more. Exactly, we always wanted more. So there was a need to increase the speed. There was a need to increase the data. So then 4G was evolutionized.
Yeah.
Okay, now so ITU, which is the Telecommunication Union, sat down and they make the standards.
Yeah.
So they say, okay, 2G, this is the standard for 2G. If you can get this standard, you are called 2G. If you can get this standard, you
You
are
mean a
called 3G.
telecommunication company?
Yeah.
They can meet that standard.
No, a telecommunication company can meet that standard.
Yeah.
Then you can say this is 2G, or I am giving my people 2G or 3G.
Yeah.
So they
So they always have standards that they have to meet in a particular regard.
Okay.
And now with 4G, they have standards as well. But the truth of the matter is, most companies or most telecom companies don't actually reach the 4G standard.
Oh my God.
So especially in Africa, you realize that most of our phones come with LTE
That's
instead of 4G.
4G, yeah.
The LTE stands for the long-term evolution. What it means is basically 4G is saying that the ITU world said, okay, 4G has to be 1 gigabits per second, which is maybe 1,000 megabits.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the telecom companies could not necessarily reach that particular mark, but because of marketing strategies, they had to push their agenda 4G. So the long-term evolution is like a step closer to 4G.
Okay.
So 4G LTE is more or less a step closer to 4G. So the LTE is like a space for them to go gradually to 4G. And they haven't even reached, and we are introducing 5G.
You know, I made my own research and I realized that for you to have 4G or even talk about 5G, you need a bandwidth space.
Yes.
Yeah, and that bandwidth space can only contain some amount of data. So that means 5G means you need more space, let's say more real estate space, to
Okay.
accommodate such things, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is the spectrum. So,
Yeah, spectrum.
the
Yeah,
spectrum.
I probably don't know the
So
technical term.
right now on the 3G, 4G, we are on the 3 gigahertz to 6 gigahertz spectrum. Okay, that is what we. It's a small space. Basically, it's a space where it's the electromagnetic wave. So this is the space where you have Bluetooth going on, you have Wi-Fi going on, you have a lot of electromagnetic devices going
radiations,
on.
all
Exactly,
that.
and then the internet is also part of it.
Okay.
So it's the space is very congested because as human beings, like I said, we always ask for more. People want their TVs connected.
Yeah.
Now people want their stoves connected, their
yeah.
fridges connected, their cars connected.
Like self-driving cars.
Yes. Now we have people with like 4 or 5 mobile phones.
Yeah.
So all these things are connected in the same spectrum. So 5G, the introduction of 5G is going to move from around 10 gigahertz up into the thousands, and that is what we call the millimeter wave.
Yeah,
The millimeter wave. Now this particular spectrum, the frequency there is very high, and what happens is it cannot necessarily go through concrete
You
or
mean like buildings,
trees.
trees.
It's easily lost.
Yeah.
So that is the gray area in the 5G era right now. That is where they are trying to find ways and means of accommodating that particular issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now, let's focus on 5G. I mean, what do you think ignited 5G? Do you think it is purpose? Do you think it is countries portraying themselves as leaders? Because we know South Korea was the first to introduce, 5G, but China was the first to commercialize it.
Right?
I mean, those are two different things. You are the first to probably bring it up, but we are the first to commercialize
Exactly.
it. Yeah. And I understand that for you to have 5G, commercialized, that means you must have a lot of high-rise buildings. And I know that, well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I know that 5G, the waves of 5G can travel through buildings.
Yeah.
So they have to build small cell towers on top of these high buildings so that they can accommodate all these, propagate or probably make the expansion of the 5G a bit easier and convenient.
Right.
Yes.
So basically,
so what do you think ignited the purpose for 5G?
Like I said, it's always for more. The human being is always asking for more. Because the thing is, you know, recently I was downloading a game, and this game was 150 GB. So downloading the game 150 GB, yes, Call of Duty. It's huge.
That's huge. Yeah.
Now, if you're on 4G, okay, the normal 4G in Ghana or in Africa, where you have, let's say, maybe 100 Mbps, which is about, if you divide that by 8, that's about 15 megabytes per second. If you have that, it might take you about maybe an hour or two to download it.
So that means you need to just leave it there and go do other stuff.
Exactly. But the human nature wants more. So now, introduction of 5G, where we can go 1,000 and 10,000, you could have that 150 GB downloaded in a matter of minutes.
I heard it's just like a blink of an eye or something.
I mean, yeah, that is, like I said, it's always a standard. But before you know, they will say 5G LTE. Very soon.
Yeah, I mean the substandard.
Yeah, they will always try to get a step closer to it. Aha. So right now that's what is happening with the 5G. So it's going to make things faster. Now we have 4K. 4K videos. You want to stream 4K videos on 4G, it breaks. It's a bit blurry.
That's right.
Exactly. So 5G would take that thing to the next level.
So that means even gadgets need to equip themselves with better high resolutions because now 5G is coming to.
Yes. And right now on 5G, there's also a new technology called multicast. Now this is very interesting. What's going to happen is, like you're watching a football.
I feel like I'm lost. Like I feel like I'm the needle in a haystack. You're just telling me all these things. I'm just looking around.
It's very simple and very, very interesting.
Try to make it quite
very, very easy. Imagine you're watching a football match, okay, on your television.
Yeah.
Okay, and all you can see is one camera angle, right?
Yeah.
Assuming you have the ability to change camera angles and watch from different angles on the same television.
Well, with the same, view.
With the same view. Assuming you're watching the television, you're watching Chelsea, Manchester United, and you see Chelsea attacking Manchester United.
From a different angle.
From one angle. That is what it should be usually. Assuming you can watch it from a different angle. Watch, not instead of Chelsea's attack, but watch Manchester United's defense.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now you can have that in 5G.
Okay. It makes, things
because
reliable.
The data is more, you have more bandwidth, you have more spectrum, you have these technologies coming through 5G. And 5G has also segmented certain areas of 4G and 3G that made the whole system very congested. In the sense that, the industrial world, the educational world, the automobile world, all these worlds were all using one internet. Now the 5G is going to make, say, the industries have their own.
Oh, so you mean they're going to sort of segment it?
Exactly, based on certain purposes.
Exactly.
Based on certain purposes. So it's going to streamline certain things. So if you want to watch things using the mobile, you have a particular spectrum for mobile activities, particular spectrum from different activities and whatnot. So yes, it's an interesting prospect.
So it's just like relating it to, let's say, transport, right?
Yes.
Probably it's like just the government building a particular kind of road for trucks, and probably a particular kind of road for probably normal saloons.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Wow, I see. So I think we should now talk about Africa then. We've spoken enough about the generalizations and the introduction of 5G. Now, this baffles me a lot. Are we really in 4G era? Like, are we really having that conversation in Africa? Because I know some countries are enjoying 4G, but the majority are enjoying 3G.
Yes.
Not everyone is privileged to 4G.
Yes. Yes, that is very true in Africa.
because it's very. I mean, I'm troubled by it because it's like we are way back out of society.
Mm-hmm.
Not okay now. 5G countries are thinking of how to expand it, make it commercialized, make the economy moving forward. Things are going to be easier and faster, and we are still like in a 3G, 4G. Well, you said 4G LTE, so
Yeah.
can imagine.
Yeah, so we haven't even gotten to 4G yet. We are in LTE before we get to 4G. But the interesting thing is, the thing about Africa is, most of the things are our mindset.
Okay.
What I would say that, in Africa or in the world, we usually have certain
Electricity, shelter, you know.
Yeah.
Now, in other parts of the world, internet is a necessity.
Yeah, I think it's the first priority they have to look
Exactly.
at.
Once you get a building, the next thing you're thinking of, how do I get internet,
Internet,
into this
yeah.
place? Exactly. Now, it also goes with affordability.
Yeah, that's right.
If you don't have the money to afford the kind of internet you want,
You want.
you're not going to get it in Ghana or in Africa. Now, there's an alliance called Alliance for Affordable Internet. It's a worldwide organization. And
It's a sort of like alliance. Okay.
yeah, it's a worldwide organization. And they put up a stat that says that if for 1 GB of data, okay, you can if you spend 2% or more of your basic salary on 1 GB of data, then it means that the internet affordability in your country is very low.
Very low. Yeah. I was
Now, the
thinking
basic
about
salary of most Africans will be about $150. In Ghana,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
about
yeah.
800 cedis
800,
thereabout. Now, if you take 2% of that, can you buy 1 GB of data? Just 1 GB of data.
that. Of that, my salary,
Yeah.
as meager as it is, 2%.
If you take 2%, if you can buy 1 GB of data,
It's like taking 200 cities to buy.
the amount of data you
Yeah.
need to buy to fulfill your daily needs is too much.
Yeah, yeah. You need a lot of data to fulfill yourself.
And
Yeah.
the amount of money you are paying for that particular data is
It's
too much.
huge. Yeah. So right now, that means we don't have the infrastructure in place. I mean, like the resources in place to implement.
We have the infrastructure, but certain government policies and regulatory bodies and the telcos, need for profit accounts for the affordability.
Yeah, because I was watching a documentary and this guy went to Portsmouth in England, in a rural area, and they are even thinking of getting 5G in that area. I mean, the town council and everybody's trying to get 5G into the area, and they realize that they are challenged. Their major challenge is that they don't have enough high-rise buildings. So now they're thinking of how to the buildings that look a bit higher, how to make it a bit higher for the 5G.
5G, radio waves.
Yeah,
exactly.
all of that. But if you come to Africa, man, like everything is so low.
Yes.
Buildings are low.
Yeah.
We literally have you can easily count the high-rise buildings actually.
Yeah. I mean, for Africa, if you want to do 5G, we'll probably have to build poles at every station.
Yeah, like every
long
pole.
poles. Yeah, long poles at every station and try and
But
transport
that's
it
not
there.
sustainable. Poles
It's
are
not.
just for temporary, maybe just a year or two.
It's not.
They might
It's
just-
not. And it's expensive.
Expensive on top.
Exactly. And so that
High
is also going to
maintenance,
bring
need to pay.
all of that cost onto the consumer as well.
Yeah, I understand. So, okay, let's talk about other things. So now let's address some concerns. Do you think some people are much concerned about 5G in Africa, or they are just concerned about having internet? I mean, as far as I can browse and it's reliable, I'm okay. They are really not concerned about 5G.
I think that should be the basics. At least everybody should have access to internet, affordable internet, I should say.
It doesn't matter whether it's 3G or 4G.
No, there are even certain times where even 3Gs can still give you a good enough data rate for you to do everything you want to do.
Yeah.
For the basic, needs of, sending WhatsApp messages and, checking here and emails here and there. Yes. But the need arises when you're doing YouTubing and you are streaming and you are gaming, then you need more data rate. Exactly.
Okay, so now let's talk about gaming, or let's say streaming or any way you want to put it,
Mhm.
but specifically gaming. What do you think gaming? Okay, as you said, you need a higher internet speed rate,
Absolutely.
right? Yes, and now gaming is taking over the world now. I
Yes.
mean, we are seeing, well, you and I are in a different part of the world now, so we are seeing how things are from
Mhm.
what our colleagues are seeing out there. So right now, I'm much appreciative about fast internet. Like I wish I had fast internet way back in Ghana back
Right.
then, but that is not the case. So now my question to you is that if you imagine you take this to Ghana, do you think the gaming, streaming, and all that is going to benefit the youth, considering our moral values and all that? Like, I mean, parents are just going to say, "Why do you spend so much time
Gaming,
than
right.
reading your books?"
Books,
Or
exactly.
yeah, I mean, there are so major concerns. This is Africa.
It's Africa,
I mean,
yes,
we don't
it's
have
true.
our destiny.
It's
to
true, but you
ourselves.
see, the thing is, in Africa, the way we have stationed ourselves, we have become very myopic in our thinking. In the outside world, when somebody goes to school or somebody gets an education, it is usually not to work for somebody. It is usually to set up their own thing and to generate their own funds. Okay? Now, back home, things are not like that. People want stability, people want, basic education. Education is.
Thank you so much for making it this far. We hope you enjoyed the show. To enjoy this and more, kindly subscribe, follow, and share, or simply head to www.mysktpodcast.com for more episodes. You make the show come alive because of your support. Thank you and peace out.